What's up? Welcome to Trackletics Live, the ultimate show for all things track and field. Join us as we dive deep into the sport, interviewing track and field athletes, coaches, nutrition specialists, and more. Get ready to hear some dope conversations and gain exclusive insight into what it takes to become a top performer in the sport. Whether you're a seasoned track and field athlete or just starting off, this is the show for you. So make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Let's get into the show. Everyone, let's welcome Angel Morris.
Yo,
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I do want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to sit down and do this live with me. I'm really excited about this one. You've had an amazing season. So I'm looking forward to learning more about your track and field journey.
Thank you.
Let's get into it. So my favorite question I love to ask everybody is, what is your track and field story? How did you get into track and why are you into track?
Okay, so my track story started in eighth grade, I believe it was like eighth grade. One of the teachers was the track coach, and he was kind of like, just come run, come practice with us one day. My dad was a
Second. There we go.
I don't know how that happened, but
We good
yeah.
to go now.
Okay, yeah, so like I said, it was eighth grade. My track coach at the time, he was just like, "Oh, just come run, come check us out, just come see if you like it." Like I said, I did a few sports. At the time, I was playing basketball. I played tennis. Tennis was actually my first sport, and I really liked it. But then it got kind of like it just wasn't hitting for me no more. But I was definitely trying to be another Serena Williams for sure. And I was training and stuff like that. But then track came along and basketball came along, and I was just like, yeah, no, this got my heart. Basketball grabbed my attention very fast. But track was just kind of like, oh, let's do that just to stay in shape, like during the off season and stuff like that. But it turned out to be way like I fell in love with it. Like I said, my dad also he ran track, so it was pretty natural for me as well. So I started. I think my first track meet, I did a 60-meter hurdle, and it was so like I did it, I finished, I won, and I was like, "Hey, this is kind of cool. Like I kind of like this. Like just the feeling of the competition and winning too, just made me feel good." And then also, I did like a 400 and stuff like that. But I just enjoyed running, and it just became natural. And I started when I got to high school. I went to Culver City High School. Go Centaurs, period. But yeah, so I went to Culver City, and every year, my freshman year, I had did tennis, basketball, and track, and it was a lot on me. Like the summer practices were crazy. I was at school all day. Like it would be like 10 to 12, and then 12 to 3, and then basketball is like from 4 to 7. So it was too much. So I was like, I think I'm finna drop one. Ended up dropping tennis. Like I said, I wasn't really enjoying it too much, and I ended up just focusing on track and basketball. But track really, like the whole time, it just came so natural. And every time I would get to the track season, it was just like, oh, I was excited to go do it, and just go run and be in that competitive nature. And yeah, basketball is definitely a whole nother sport, so it kind of varied. And I was just like, every time I would get to track season, I'd be super excited to enjoy. So. Yeah,
Wow.
that's kind of how everything started for me.
What an amazing journey. Started all the way back in eighth grade, all the way till now. You just finished your second year at West LA. So what keeps you motivated to continue to train, continue to compete? Because track is not an easy sport. And you do the heck. You're literally doing everything out there. Like that's crazy. We're gonna get into that. But what keeps you motivated to go through the training to, get yourself ready to compete?
Really just the reward, knowing that you can put something in and put so much time and effort, and energy into something, and knowing that you're gonna get something out, that's kind of motivation enough for me. Just I know my value as well, and I know what I bring to the table. I know like how hard I work. So that's also something that just keeps me motivated. Of course, God, that He keeps me up every day for sure, gives me the strength to do everything that I do. My parents as well. My dad, like I said, he ran track, and he was a big inspiration for sports when it came to sports for me. Yeah, he was like, I was like, I want to be just like my dad. He was just cold at everything he did. So That was another thing that motivated me for sure. And of course, my mom, like she's been there with me this through everything. And yeah, the track is not easy at all, but HEP is like a whole nother story. So yeah, it's a lot, but it's definitely worth it. And it just keeps me motivated to keep going because I know, the reward at the end. And it's honestly, if you don't love what you do, you're not going to enjoy it. So it's just loving. You really have to have the passion for it and the drive for it. And I definitely have that for just for sports in general, but track really like attacked me. It was like, yeah, this is what we sticking with. So yeah, that's definitely my motivation. But like mainly God is my motivation for sure, just to keep pushing, giving me the strength to do it.
I feel you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Track is not an easy sport at all. The hip is a completely different ball game. And you
Yeah,
started with the 60 hurdle. How
yeah.
did we get to the hip? Like, what made you want to just say, I'm gonna do it all? Like,
I actually did not do it at all. I didn't say that I wanted to do it at all. I finished practice with Coach Bobby Kersey, and we had just finished like a hurdle practice. And he was like, "Oh, Angel," like I'm literally walking off the track. I took my spikes off, my bag is on, and he's like, "Oh, congratulations, you're a heptathlete." I said, "What? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't even know what the hep is. Like, what do you mean? I had no idea what the hep was 2 years ago. I kid you not." So it was honestly, it literally was just thrown at me, and then I fell in love with it. I started liking it, but I was also doing things that I never have done in my life. Like I never threw shot put, I never threw jab. I've never done an 800, and I chose not to do the 800 because what? Like who likes doing the 800? Like that's actually crazy. But the hurdles was already instilled in me. Long jump got instilled in me my senior year of high school, and so it kind of just like I said, that was natural. But everything else, I'm like, what we doing here? So it came with training, but he kind of just like, yeah, you have the potential definitely to do all of these events. And so I was like, okay, for sure. So I went ahead and did it. And from then, in my first head meet was crazy. I was running with like a bunch of D1 schools, UCLA, everybody. And I'm sitting there like, it's 14 of us. And actually my first head meet, I played 7. So I'm like, if I beat half of y'all, that's low key kind of showing me a little something. I'm like, okay, I got potential for sure. And that was like I said, my first time ever doing it. And throughout the season, my freshman season at West LA, I ended up placing number 5 in state. So that was like super big accomplishment for me. I enjoyed it so much. And like I said, it was new for me. So I don't never want to limit myself to like, oh, I can't do it because I've never done it. Like I knew if I put my mind to it and I worked hard enough that I could do it. So that's literally how I got thrown into the hip. But yep, so that's basically it on the hip.
yeah, you've had an amazing journey for sure. Didn't even sign up for the hip. Literally was thrown into it. Plays fifth in state, and there's so many athletes that compete in track. So for you to, place fifth your first year in it that's amazing. That definitely shows your potential. It's up to you to, go as far as you want. You definitely have the potential for sure, right? You just finished your second year competing for West LA. So I have to ask, what was your experience like at West LA?
My experience at West LA was great. I have actually been involved with West LA since 2016. When I was in high school, Culver City, I went to Culver City High School, and of course, West Los Angeles College is in Culver City. It's literally like a few blocks away. So I was able to kind of connect with the school. Of course, they were kind of looking at me to come run and to come play basketball as well. So I actually got introduced to West LA through basketball. The head coach, Coach Twan, he had a travel ball team, and I needed to get some film to some schools and stuff, fresh out of high school. But so I was actually involved with West LA for a cool minute before I came. And yeah, my journey was crazy. I actually graduated high school. I went to Tuskegee University. And then from there, COVID hit and I came back home. And then I was like, you know what? I might as well come back to West LA. So it kind of worked out in my favor. I didn't know it was going to work out like that, but it did. And it turned out to be amazing. Like I said, I found a new passion in track. I found the hip. I got to work with the Bobby Kersey, like who gets to just say that. So he's one of the best track coaches ever. So, everything ended up working out for my favor. I didn't think it was going to go like that, but I basically came back home and everything worked out. So yeah, it was a lot, but my experience at West LA was great. No complaints. Great team, great energy. We have a very good culture at West LA. just amazing. All the friends and my coaches, definitely can't do anything without Coach Dan. I wouldn't be here without Coach Dan. So very thankful for them. And my team really pushed me as well. I made a lot of lifelong friends for sure. And like I said, I'm very thankful for West LA.
Yeah, shout out to Coach
Shout
Dan, mad
out to
scientist at
Coach
West State.
D. Ed. Like, quit playing with him.
Yeah,
We love
Coach
Coach Dan
Dan, the
for
man,
sure. Coach Dizzle.
for sure. Now, I did notice something going on during season, so I have to ask, what was this like? What was this whole Let West compete campaign that was going on? Fill me in with that. What happened? Why weren't they allowing you to compete?
So the theme for this season was adversity. This season was absolutely crazy for me. Never had to deal with a lot of this stuff. But so the issue that we had this season, so to get your qualifying marks for the HEP, of course the HEP is, ran over 2 days. You do 4 events on the first day and you have three on the second. To get our qualifying marks for SoCal so that we can qualify for state, we had to do it. Well, they give you the option to do it in 1 day. So we did it in 1 day. We went to Cuesta. They had a meet, and we did all 7 events in 1 day. And like, just to stay on that, we did all 7 events in 1 day, like
Right.
all 7 to qualify. And it was probably the worst day of my life. Never doing that again. It was crazy. But we finished. It was 2 of my other teammates as well. And we powered through it. We got through it. It was crazy. Just like having to do everything back to back was just like sick. But we got through it. We got our qualifying marks. Our coach sent it in and was like, hey, like, you did this. All of a sudden, we were at El Camino. We get to the meet, and our coach gets an email saying that we can't compete. And we was like, what are you talking about? Like, it's our sophomore year. Like, what do you mean we can't compete? And they're saying, no, like, your qualifying marks didn't count. You guys did it in 1 day and not 2. We was like, okay, like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, we did it regardless. We got our marks, so what's the problem? And it just turned into a lot of chaos. So our coach was going back and forth. Our AD was, fighting for us to, make sure that we compete. We need a chance to compete. That's all we want to do is compete. Simple as that. Like, that's the only thing athletes really want to do. We just want to compete. Like, we don't care about all the political stuff that's going on. We just want to work. We want to compete. So for us, it was very difficult. And the adversity that we had to like fight through, knowing that we might not be able to compete in the thing we've been working on for the whole, the whole season. We've been working for this all year, and you tell us we can't compete. Like, what's actually going on? We all got our qualifying marks. We all scored over like 3,000 something points, and they were all kind of looking at us like, I honestly think they were looking at us like, wait, all 3 of y'all did it in 1 day, and like, y'all did over 3,000 points in 1 day. Like, that's kind of like, oof, like, hold on, y'all must be doing something different over there. But we did, and it was the God honest truth. And for some reason, I think they thought that we were trying to seek like a advantage or something like that. And of course, that's never going to be the case. Like, nobody's ever going to cheat or do anything crazy like that. We just wanted to compete. Simple as that. And then for me, I placed 5th in state last year. I missed my All-American spot by like 12 points. So I got beef with the HEP this year. Coming into the season, I'm like, look, this is what I need to do. This is my goal. I will be, on that podium. Like, I will be getting my All-American spot. Like, I've worked too hard to not get there. So I was locked in. I'm zoned in on the whole season. I'm like, look, I know how this is going to go. And then literally like almost closer to the end of the season, they tell us, actually 2 weeks before, like, so 2 to 3 weeks before SoCal, they told us we couldn't compete. So it's like all the precautions we could have took to not have that happen, we couldn't even do it. It was too late. So we ended up of course we ended up not competing. It was so bad. A lot of tears were shed. We were really mad about what was going on. But we ended up starting the Let West Compete campaign. A lot of people were on board with it. And of course, trying to like share our posts to you all. Of course, Trackletics, you guys shared our story. And, it was just really hard to fight through, but we did. Like I said, season did not go how I wanted it to go, but it went. I can say that I placed top 12 in high jump. I can say that top 12 in the state when it comes to high jump. But when you really focus on one thing, you like, hey, I want to do this, and you're working so hard to get there, and it's snatched away from you. It's like a heartbreak. So just had to fight through that and really just push through, because it wasn't fair at all, for sure. Like, it really did. It was a stab in the back. Like, it hurt a lot, but everything happens for a reason. Just had to like adjust I had to adjust. I really did. I had to adjust to what was going on. I ended up focusing on just hurdles and high jump, because those are my 2 favorites. And kind of my favorites, and I would say like my best events. So just had to adjust and focus on something new.
Yeah, that's crazy. By
Yeah.
the time that I realized what was going on, my team, my coach, we were kind of a little upset about it because we can see that other coaches are literally trying to stop West
Yeah.
LA from competing, and they're not realizing how you're hurting an athlete's season, right?
Yeah.
And West LA is a JC, so you're trying to place to state for one, right? You came in the season with goals, something that you felt you need to prove to yourself,
Yeah.
and you're also trying to transfer out to another school, right? So it's not just about this season not letting you compete so their athletes win, but you're also trying to improve your marks, right? You're trying to, play so that you can transfer to another school,
Mhm.
and that definitely affects your track career. So I got how it affected you this season, but do you feel that affected you as you're trying to move forward and transfer out to another school?
It definitely did. It's been kind of difficult for schools to recruit me with no HEP score to recruit me off of. Like I don't really want to go off of my freshman season. Of course you can, but and like I said, that showed my potential in the HEP, but that didn't really show what I could do when I really trained. And it's not my first time actually doing it. So it kind of turned into a like like a hopeful like okay we'll see what you can do when it comes to my recruitment process and everything but I just really want the opportunity to compete. Like I feel like my season this season was taken away, and I just want the opportunity to compete. That was it. So the schools, that was on me or whatever, it's difficult. It's definitely been difficult for them to really recruit me and say, oh, we can give you a scholarship with no score to really base that off of. So yeah, it's hard. They can look at my individual scores, but if what if I was given the opportunity to compete at state or even in SoCal and I PR, like we'll never know if I really went crazy or if I could have scored close to 5,000. You never know. But that's what I'm saying. Like the whole opportunity was snatched away. So it's been very difficult for schools to really like tone in and be like, hey, we want you to come here. You did this season. It's like I can't even show y'all what I really can do. But I'm thankful. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. My heart towards it, of course, it's been heavy, but at the same time, like I said, like this is track anyway. Track is unknown majority of the time. You never know what's gonna happen. So, just it's just kind of just playing the cards how they're dealt, and just fighting through it.
Yeah, well, you definitely played the cards well for sure. Pushed through it. Saw you compete in the high jump, hurdles, and you did great. Especially since you were focusing on the hip all season, you didn't really zero in on just those two events. So
Mhm.
to be able to focus and do what you did is amazing. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Much respect for pushing through, because like I said, the coaches don't realize like they're interfering with somebody's life,
My
right?
life, like
It's more than just this track stuff. You're actually trying to transfer out that school to another school, right?
yeah,
Obtain a degree, and set yourself up for a good life and achieve whatever other goals that you want. So it's not just about that HEP score and them winning or them versus West LA. It's much more than that. There are literally athletes or people, so
right.
you're,
Like we
you're
got
messing with
feelings.
somebody. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, much respect for you pushing through.
Thank you.
Now you mentioned the schools recruiting you and speaking about your HEP score and all of that. Have you chose what school you want to go to?
I have chose what school I'm going to go to. I did choose. The announcement will be made in July, pretty soon. I will be having like a little signing party and everything, but I'm very excited for this school. Like, the coaches really fired me up, and that opportunity that I missed this season, they're really excited to give me the opportunity for this upcoming season, and like that's really what did it for me, and really what sold me to really go to that school because that's all I want. Like, I really just want to compete. I really want to show what I can do in the hip, because I have so much potential, like beyond measure. Like, who knows really what I can do right now? Like, so I'm really excited for this new school, this new journey, this new opportunity. I can't wait to announce it and everything. It's gonna be it's big. Like I said, I'm excited. It's gonna be super cool. Going there. So yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. That's major. Congrats on that for sure. I was gonna ask, what was the determining factor that made you want to go there over the other schools, right? So you said the coach is giving you an opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
and believing in you. Did you meet any of your future teammates? Do you feel like it's a good training environment? Did you like the facility? Like, what were the other determining factors?
For me, it was also the school itself. It's I'm not trying to give it away too much, but at the same time, no, it just the culture, the environment that the school has as well. I just really enjoy it. I felt super comfortable when I took the visit as well, and that's kind of big for me too. Like I want to be able to see myself there, and really be comfortable where I'm at and everything. And I'm trying to not to say too much. But no, like I said, I just really it was that the coaches, like I said, they believed in me off rip. Like they were just like, okay, like we know what you can do. And that was really big for me. I also did get to meet some of the my new teammates coming up, and they're really cool, and they're already super welcoming. And I'm like, yeah, it's basically going to be like another West LA. The culture is good, like we're happy to be around each other, happy to work together, and I'm really excited to work with their Hep girls as well. So yeah, it's going to be really big. I'm really excited to work with them. So excited.
That's major. That's major. I'm always hyped to hear athletes finding another home, another, family. As your teammates become family, you having coaches that believe in you, that'll definitely help you reach your full potential and see how far you can go, Because like you were saying before, all you need is the chance,
Right.
right? And then you can actually show yourself what you can actually achieve. So now you're going to get that opportunity. You'll get that chance. So that's major. Congrats again on that,
Thank
for
you.
sure. But taking it back to this season, we know how this season went, but let's talk about like all the work that you put in before the whole Let West Compete campaign took off, and they were interfering with your season, right? You doing the hip, I'm sure the workouts are crazy. You literally do every event. So what is the what is the training like? The training schedule? What are the workouts like? What were you doing at practice? And you got to work with Coach Kersey. Like, what were you doing at training? Let us know.
um, my practice days were insane. I'm not gonna lie. Throughout the season, it was crazy. Not to mention, I live in Palmdale, so like the
Mm.
commute back and forth, like from Palmdale to like LA, is sick. I used to be on the road for close to 4 hours a day, like in total, depending on what traffic was talking about. So on top of me having to go put in like crazy amounts of work, I have to drive too. So my practice days were crazy. I was getting home super late, leaving super early. But my practices, I would go from coach to coach. That's the best way I could really put it. So of course we have Coach Val, we have Coach Tim, that's our jumps coach. We have Coach Dan, and then Coach Bobby. So it was a lot. So I would go to Coach Bobby for hurdles. Well, of course I would, like warm up, stuff like that. Make sure my rehab, stretching, everything, all that's done. And then I would go head out to the track, and from there it was just like boom, boom. I would literally be jumping from the different sides of the track, going back and forth. And it would be some days I would do like I would start out with hurdles and then go throw, shot put or jab, and then I would end with high jump. Or other days I start with long jump, jumping in the pit and stuff like that. Doing some sprint workouts or doing some 800-meter workouts, running certain curves at a certain time and stuff like that. But like I said, I would go from coach to coach, coach to coach, just going back and forth throughout the track. But I would my practices would end at our normal practices started around 2:30, and I would leave at like 7:30. Like almost 8 o'clock, and because I also make sure that my body and everything is straight after that. So I'm going in the training room, getting all the treatment I need to make sure I'm okay after doing so much. But yeah, it honestly it isn't that bad, and it might sound like, what do you mean it's not that bad? It wasn't that bad. It's just really just focusing and knowing that, like I said, I had a goal in mind, so it didn't matter what my practices was talking about. I'm getting it done regardless. And then of course weight rooms and stuff on top of that. Like after my practices, I would go lift. So it would be a lot, but it sounds like a lot. But when you really want to do something and achieve your goal, it's pretty easy to get it done.
Yeah, don't let anything
It
stand.
wasn't easy though. I'm not gonna say that it
Nah,
was not easy. It
you
definitely was
you're
difficult. Definitely cried a few times, for sure.
You're
For
not
sure.
gonna convince me it was easy at all. I'm a sprinter. I just do sprints, and I'm like, sprints is hard. So
Oh,
you
it's
sprinting, you doing hurdles, you doing long jump, you doing high jump. You're not gonna convince me it's
it's
easy.
not.
Like you have no
It's
chance
not.
of that. And you mentioned a couple key words, right? So you spoke about going to the trainers, right? So focusing on your recovery. One of my old teammates was actually a student, like intern there. His
Yeah.
name is Taylor, so shout out to
Shout out
Taylor. Um,
to Taylor for
yeah,
sure.
dude is a genius. He's serious about it. Even back when we were running and competing in college, he was always like, "Hey, bro, you got to do this. Make sure
Yeah.
you doing this. Here's a like." He was giving me compression sleeves and
Mhm.
wraps and like, "Hey, bro, dude." Like he's been about that. So I'm
Yeah.
very proud to see him use all of the knowledge that he has and that he's learning in school to actually go back and help other athletes as well, because he's serious about it. He's not just
Yeah.
BSing. He's serious, right? But you mentioned a couple other things as well, right? So those were your track workouts. You spoke about recovery and you spoke about lifting. So what were your favorite lifting exercises, something that you feel help you build some strength, some power, or whatever, could contribute to your track season? Because you're doing all events. So
Mhm.
like, what's the lifts like?
they
What?
they are crazy. They're crazy. Somebody just said in Taylor we trust. No, that's like big. Like in Taylor we
Right.
trust. I would be lifting with Taylor. Actually, that's funny. After my workouts on the track, I would go and work out with him. But a lot of those cleans, that's honestly one of my favorite lifts is just doing them cleans because I just feel mad strong. Like really just lifting it up, and throwing it down. Like you just feel like it feels good. That's definitely my favorite lift. I love core workouts. That's honestly my favorite thing to do. Like I love the like feeling the burn. Of course, it like I said, it sounds crazy, but feeling the burn of like your core, I love that. Like it's fire. But that and then a lot of my lifts. So I think honestly some of my favorite ones were lifting for throwing and stuff like that. Like we do a lot of like medicine ball stuff just to get my shoulders and stuff right. I had a minor injury during basketball season and almost tore like my labrum. So the recovery on look, yeah, it's a lot. But a lot of the recovery for that itself actually helped my arm get stronger and stuff like that. My back muscles all back in shape. But it would just be a lot of like like a lot of stuff that was like focused on specific muscles. And I don't know, I love doing all that. I love overhead pulls and stuff like I love those, like everything. But yeah, I like weight room. It make me feel all big and swole and stuff like that. So yeah, the weight room is very important for me this season, just trying to stay stronger. And also just with hurdles too. We would do a lot of stuff like band workouts to get my hips right and making sure that my core was engaged like the whole time. So that also was big. But yeah, my weight room was crazy. But those are just some of my favorite things that I like to do. Mainly them pulls, like I said, they make me feel like I'm doing something. So,
Putting in
but yeah.
work in the weight room for sure. So we said power cleans, core work, some pulls. Got you. Um, what was your favorite track workout? You literally did everything on the track, like left no stone unturned, right? So going from coach to coach, um, doing the sprints, doing the jumps, doing high jump, right? Doing the hurdles. What was your favorite workout?
It's the hurdles for sure. I love hurdles. I'm a very rhythmic person, so and usually I would start with hurdles. And that was kind of just set the tone for my day, especially working out with Coach Bobby. He didn't play. My first workout with Coach Bobby, he didn't say anything to me. He just was like, he set up the hurdles. We looking around, he's like, do y'all drills or whatever. We did our drills. And then we looking like, we ain't gonna, you want us, like, what you want us to do? And he was just like, go. We was like, go. Like, we ran over them hurdles, and he was just like, just be an athlete. Like he was kind of just making sure that we just still kept that like athleticism in us and wasn't trying to think too technical at first. Of course now it is, but I definitely was like, nah, like I gotta lock in. I gotta do. He was like, just be an athlete, go run, like go do your thing. I don't want you to think about nothing right now. Just go over the hurdles. But hurdles was my favorite workout. I love hurdles. All my teammates know that was my thing. And that was definitely my favorite track workout. High jump is a close second. High jump and jab are like a close second for sure.
Okay, so favorite track workout, putting in work over the hurdles. Favorite lift, power cleans, core workouts, right? Got you. So now let's say we, just finished our hurdle workout. We
Mhm.
just finished our lift. We was hitting some power cleans. What's your favorite post-workout meal? What are you refueling with after practice?
Um, One thing about Angel, she like to eat. Okay, so I eat a lot. And like I said, commuting every day, I would have like I would keep a bunch of snacks on me, like in my car and stuff like that. But honestly, it's in between Chipotle and Chick-fil-A, and I know that might not be the healthiest, but like it busts every time. So Chipotle, give me a good little chicken bowl, or a burrito, depending on how I'm feeling. But yeah, that's usually my main thing that I will go
Now hold
to.
on, wait. What are you putting in the bowl? Like break that
Oh,
down.
bet. Okay, for sure. So you get you some brown rice, some
Okay.
black beans. I'm trying to go through the line right now.
Yeah.
Some black beans. Get you double chicken because they be trying to be skimpy on the chicken. We don't like that, so get the chicken. Get some cheese, corn, sour cream. Get guac on the side. I don't really like guac all in it, so I just get it on the side. And then yeah, that's about it. It's not too crazy. My boy not too. I don't put all the spices and all the sauces. I don't put all that in there. Just
Got it.
like the and then get some chips. Mix that in there. You got to eat it with the chips. I'm putting you on. You got to eat it with the
With
chips.
the
So
chips.
yeah, with the
I,
chips. Yeah.
yeah, I typically eat mine with the chips, and I get a tortilla on the side and the
Oh,
vinaigrette sauce. You sleep if you're not getting the
put me
vinaigrette sauce.
on because maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't
get the
know.
vinaigrette sauce. It's a must try for
Okay,
sure.
fair.
And they're not stingy with it, so you can be like, let me get like four of those. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
for
I'll
sure.
I cheat. I'll ask for four, and then now I'm stocking up sauce at the crib.
That's
Like
all right. Yeah, you pushing
my
it.
fault, my fault. Got you. So we got our favorite post workout meal. What's your favorite post workout drink? Maybe it's an energy drink, some type of electrolyte drink. Are you drinking smoothies? What are you refueling with? What are you rehydrating with?
Um, For me, I love Body Armor like to death. All my teammates, I'll buy cases of Body Armor and then just pull up to practice with just a bunch of Body Armor. That was my daily drink. I would get smoothies from Robex too. That's also my favorite like smoothie spot. And yeah, so those two, those are my big ones for sure. Body Armor and Robex. I would get a smoothie from there.
Okay, got you. Now, so we got our favorite track workout, got our favorite lift, got our favorite post workout meal, we got our favorite post workout drink, right? Now,
Yeah.
there comes a point in time where every track athlete or every athlete, period, has to hang up their spikes, right? Hang up their shoes. So,
Mm-hmm.
what is your long term goal with track and after track after you hang up your spikes?
Mm-hmm. I have a few passions, so it's kind of
Talk
difficult
about
narrowing down everything that I want to do. So for one, I'm a musician. I play the drums. I play the drums for a few churches in LA, and for a band as well. So we have gigs every now and then and stuff like that. But that's also music is definitely one of my biggest passions. I can't escape it. My dad was a musician. He played like 13 instruments, so it's just in my blood. My whole family, we either sing or we play. So it's either or. And I honestly I want my own music label. This is definitely gonna happen. But I want my own music label. And I want to go to music school, get my bachelor's in music production and my master's in business entertainment. Just to, have all my ducks covered and everything and make sure I know what I'm doing. But I want my own music label. But I also, like I said, I got a few passions. So my mom is a vet. She worked for the FBI.
Ooh,
So that's also a door that I kind of want to open up for myself, just to go into, the whole law enforcement. It is crazy, but there's so much that I can do in there as well. My major is communications too, so I enjoy just about everything, and that communications degree is pretty broad enough for me to go into kind of almost any field that I want to. I'm also thinking about like being a PR representative for something, social media managers, things of that nature. So it's like I said, it's a lot that I want to do, and of course I have a few passions, but I definitely, those are kind of like my main things if track doesn't work out or something like that. But those are
okay.
definitely what I want to pursue.
Now, speaking about track, do you see yourself going pro? Is that a goal?
It is a goal. I feel like it's almost everybody's goal, but at the same time, like I know my worth, I know my value, and I know if I could do the HEP for the first time, and I'm number 5 in the state, and that's off of me barely practicing, not knowing what I'm doing. And then, because I know this season like really would have been crazy. Like I would have definitely had my All American spot. But I definitely too want to go pro. I definitely do want to do the head professionally. I really love it. I really didn't, at first I did not think I was going to like it because they said 800 and I completely was like, no, like that's trash. But then I figured out that it's actually like that 800 is really what does the whole head. That's what kind of, that's what ends in it too. So it's kind of like you put your all into that 800 at the end. So, I really do want to compete professionally. I can't wait to, embark in that. Coach Kersey definitely, has me on a tight string. So can't wait to get that started with him once I finish my bachelor's at my next school. So, once I graduate, that's definitely my next step.
Well, yeah, I'm wishing you the best. It's up to you to how far you want to take it. You have the potential for sure, especially if you want to do like even wanting to do the hep is like that's crazy. I don't know if anybody told you, but that's really crazy. Like you're doing everything out there. So much respect for that. And if he's willing to work with you, then that shows something as well. It's not an open like you can just come sign up and pull up on him like that. So if he is willing to work with you or wants to work with you, that shows that shows what type of athlete you are. You're serious. You have the potential, and he feels that you can reach that level as well. So it's up to you to believe in yourself and see the journey through because you can definitely achieve it. Right
Yeah.
now, my favorite last question I ask everybody is what's something you know now that you wish you could have told yourself back in 8th grade or high school when you first started competing?
Oh, that's a deep one. Um, I wish I would have told myself like to lock in because I did not take track serious at
You were
first. Like
flipping.
I didn't. I was just this is just for fun. Like during the off season of basketball, I really thought I was gonna go hoop and go to the WNBA. Nah, did not happen. So I honestly I wish I could have just told myself to lock in with track and just focus because for me sports was always just natural to me, but it was more fun. Like I didn't take it as serious as I probably I don't know like the Junior Olympics. You never know like if I actually took it serious. But it was a lot that I didn't know like at all when it came to track, like how big track really is and like the things I could have went to and things I could have done. Join the AAU track teams, had no idea that existed. So I feel like if I was to do that or if I was to know that, it might be a little different right now. I might have gotten to the hip way earlier and I could have been like an Anna Hall like right now. So, just focusing on making sure that I know my potential for real. Like just tell myself, hey, like you really tough. Like lock in, do it for real, take it seriously, work hard, make sure you got your grades and everything straight, make sure everything is good, so that you can go to the next level with no problem. But I definitely wish I would have told myself that. But everything happened for a reason. It's more of just like I'm thankful of how it went now, and how my journey went and how it started. So I'm very thankful for just everything that's happened down the years, and how everything's going.
Facts. Okay. Well, let me tell you now, you really tough. Lock in, focus, make sure
Thank
your
you.
grades right, because you can
Thank
really do
you.
this. So, all those things that you just said, look yourself in the mirror and say that again, for real,
Thank you.
because you still have what it takes. You still have the potential. You still have, a couple more steps in front of you, especially at this new school,
Yeah.
wherever you're transferring off to. So wishing you the best of luck there.
Thank
Wishing
you.
you a healthy coming season with plenty more PRs. And I'm looking forward to seeing you compete.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity as well. This was awesome.
Of
I work with
course.
her all the time. So, yeah, big fan. So, thank you so much.
Of course. Of course. Let me say thank you for taking the time out of your day to actually sit down and have this conversation with me. I greatly appreciate it. Giving me all the insight, letting me know what happened with West LA, the whole Let West Compete campaign, because I've been wondering. And I honestly don't think that that's cool. Like I said, they're, playing with athletes' lives, humans' lives, right? You
Yeah.
have other steps, other goals as well. And they don't really care how that affected you at all. But you stay focused, you stay locked in, you chose two events, and you were able to get, another opportunity to transfer off to another school. So Congratulations on that. Definitely wishing you the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Of course, that's it for us today on Trackletics Live. You enjoy your day.
Thank you. You too.